What's going on, guys? So, I think we're going to have to find Doc Brown because Marty came back from the future with a new clothing, and what is happening with his hair? Weren't you purple? Okay, let's take a look at Marty McFly here, except this one came from the future. Yes, I called him Marty McFly twice. It is the new version of Future Trunks from the Future Trunks slash Goku Black saga, and this is the new version that's non-Super Saiyan-y, whereas you had the previous version which was Super Saiyan-y, and I will be picking that one up at some point. They're going to be exactly the same with the exception of a head and Build-A-Figure part, but you've got him here in the plastic prison. You've got his cool accessories because he actually has some. It looks like he's trying to grab the tip of his sword. That's kind of funny. And you've got a couple sets of hands there because you need, sword holding hands. And you've got a Broly leg way up in there and behind the light. Oh, by the way, this is Dragon Ball Super, and hey, ages 4+. I'm right in the middle of that. And you've got Dragon Stars right there. You can read it if you tilt it down toward things because mirrored finish. Dragon Ball Super, Future Trunks. Nice shot there. Here's what's funny though, and this is a criticism a lot of people have had of this character: the hair. Trunks had purple hair in the Cell Saga. Now he has blue hair. It was all originally a callback to where Bulma's hair color was inconsistent. It was purple in Dragon Ball, then it went blue in Z, and then occasionally there's the mix-up where it's both, and then Trunks had purple hair, and then now it's blue. So I think they did it on purpose to show character growth, so to speak, because it was really funny to have him interacting with his younger self and not really mention the fact that his hair color was different, or maybe they did and I forgot. It's been a while since that saga came out. But on the back, you've got Future Trunks, Vegito, Goku Black. Obviously, we looked at Vegito already. We're looking at the Trunks boy now. We got Broly. We got all the figures in the line. Collect them all. I did. All right, so let's get him out here and see how cool he is, because it's my first Trunks. I'm excited. Oh boy, future boy, you've got some problems. All right, so let's just get into it here. That hip is stupid loose. I mean, this ball joint is just not happy. If you got it crammed up in there, it's okay. Sculpt-wise, he actually looks pretty good. Now, I was debating about the head because the hairline is a bit ridiculous and harsh. So it looks like he's almost wearing a bandana made of hair. But some of the newer artwork does actually give him more of a straight hairline instead of a pronounced widow peak like his dad. It might be possible to trim that out just a hair with like a super sharp knife. Get in there and just trim it up. But I'm scared it will show the raw plastic underneath. But otherwise, he's not too bad. The paint on the body is actually pretty decent. You got the buttons, you got the straps, you got the bandana, because you have to show growth. You do have the Capsule Corp logo kind of tampoed on there. You got some battle damage. You can see, I guess, his undershirt. Yeah, he does have green undershirt, if I remember correctly. It's like a sweater. You've got the hole where the sword goes in the back, and you've got his kind of painted on pants, almost a gunmetal color here on the butt. That's weird. And you got his cool boots. And I was thinking that those are the same boots that Goku has, but they're not. They're just very similar kind of strap over types, but they're not the same boots. Actually, they're much bigger. That's funny. Overall, he looks like a good figure, and I stress the looks. The head has virtually no articulation except for side to side, which is limited by the thing. And I've already cut out the back of the hair a little bit. You would have to cut all the way up to here, like lose all of the hair that comes down on his neck to give him any back and forth articulation. So he is stuck in that permanent downward look, unless you really crank. No, he's just always going to look down at his own chin. Shoulders do have ball joint going into there, a lot like Vegeta, and then a very, very tight ratchet in the shoulder itself. It's a bit scary. Got a bit of a cut or something there. That's odd. Bicep rotation. It's super tight. Be careful. Double jointed elbow stuck in a semi-permanent angle. So you can move that. It moves a bit, I guess. Yeah, it's just really easy. Now, one thing I had a problem. So his hands. He comes with the fists on there, which is fine. I did put on the sword holding hand because obviously we're going to do that. Now he comes with these hands. These hands are huge. Like, look at it compared to the fist. These are like Goku size hands, if I had to guess. Maybe even bigger. I don't know whose hands these are. They're not made for trunks. They're way too big. But if you grab, say, a Gohan hand, which I believe is what this is, because it's in the pile of figures I've been doing, so that's a Gohan hand. The flesh tone is essentially the same, but it's a lot smaller. Now, one thing you might notice is that I'm missing a sword-holding hand. So there's all the ones I've got so far. His left sword-holding hand went flying across the room as I tried to peg it onto this super tiny peg. It didn't want to go. So it went flying. It's somewhere behind me over by my Detolfs. But because I want an open expressive hand in his left hand, I'm going to slap on this Gohan hand, which is much closer in size. So you can see this is the hand they wanted you to put on here. That is way too big for Trunks. It doesn't even fit the body. Like, look at that. That is just redonkulous. So those are trash hands. We're getting rid of those. Like I said, I don't know whose hands they are. I don't even know that they're Goku's. They look a little bit big for a Goku hand. Let me see here. So here's Goku's open hand. Nope, not a Goku hand. That's huge. Maybe it's a Jiren hand. Wait, hold on. I don't have... Where's the left? The right one. So now it's like, play the... Actually... Yep, that's a Jiren hand. That would be why it's so big. They got the wrong size hands for this character. That's ridiculous. But if you wanted somehow an open Jiren hand, I guess technically you could have a flesh tone one. But I wanted him to have the ability to do that number. But this leg is so bad. Right here. Got the drop down hips like they all do. You can kick forward sort of even with a drop down. Sort of do the splits. He does rotate at the thing, and he has a little bit of a swivel. I forgot his belt is under there. Also, he popped in half whenever I had that problem trying to get the hand on. If your figure pops in half completely whenever you're trying to put a hand on, maybe things are a little bit too tight. I don't know. I don't think he has boot rotation. No, it just rotates down here at the ankle, and the ankle socket itself is totally turned in the wrong direction, so that's a thing. So it can turn side to side, but his up and down motion doesn't happen, so it actually turns into a side motion because, much like the Power Ranger ankles and wrists, you can see the cut is right in there, and I don't know that that can be rotated. It's a little wonky, but this hip's going to need something here. I like the tear in the pants, except the flesh tone paint on there always looks bad. It's almost, what they need to do is, like, if they're going to do battle damage on the pants or clothing, they need to mold it in the skin tone and then paint the pants on. That would look so much better than painting the skin tone over the pants. One thing that's unfortunate is you do get this split in the hair right here, because you can tell how it's multi-layered. So you got the whole back of the head, and then you've got the whole front of the head, and it gets slapped on over that. But that's what gives me a little bit of hope that maybe I could trim that hairline up a little bit, make it a little less pronounced. Also, the fact that it shows the individual hairs is annoying. I like the open mouth screaming yelling face is pretty good. Honestly, the sculpt is pretty good, and it's actually painted decently. It's just the fact that that head is stuck in a permanent downward look. Let's check out the accessories. We'll talk Broly real quick. Broly leg, the right leg, had to think of it, just big, painted, all the things, good. Now we got his other accessories, which are his sword, his future sword. I call it that because it's not the Tapion sword, and it's not the Z sword. In any artwork, it's neither sword. I double-checked, because Tapion's sword that he had originally when he came back from the future is a very distinct look, a very different guard and hilt and wrap and pommel. Same thing with the Z sword. All very similar. In fact, Tapion's sword looks very similar to the Z sword. This is neither of those things. The mold is okay. The silver paint for the blade is decent, and you've got the really crappy paint for the guard, wrap, and everything like that. That probably just needs to be dirtied up. Let's see him hold it. I'm going to just hope and pray. It is a soft weapon. The hilt is actually a bit stronger here, so that's good. Or the guard, I should say, not the hilt. Guard and hilt. Okay, so let's get it in his hand, assuming it won't break it on the way in. Okay, so he can hold the sword. That's a bonus. Although I think it should be slightly bigger. The handle should be enough to two-hand it, which he can't. He couldn't do it anyways because the shoulders won't allow him to like do a butterfly joint. So there's that. But you do get the scabbard, which goes on the back. Once again, there goes that leg. I gotta tighten that up. The cool thing is the scabbard itself is one one piece there, and it's painted red, but you get the fake sword. So if you wanted to have the sword put away, you just install that. But if he's holding the sword like this, you don't. That is actually very neat. I like that. I think my link, and I think one of my Jack Specific World Nintendo links also does have that. So that's pretty cool. Now, the Super Saiyan version should be identical in virtually every aspect. So when I get that sometime soon, we will obviously do that comparison. But, like, I'm trying to get him to where he looks like he's doing something with the sword. Now, they do actually have the Figuarts version out fairly recently. And it comes with the sword is similar, but better, obviously. And then he does have the cool spirit sword attachment. You know, we've gotten the other kind of energy effect with Vegito. They could have given us something like a spirit sword. They really could have. But either way, so let's compare him to at least other things in the wave here. So we've got Vegito. So, because he's the next one in this wave. And then, where's his dad? We'll bring out Vegeta. Vegeta is, with hair, is taller than Trunks. Trunks is a smaller dude, but not by that much. Like, he's, especially after everything he went through in Cell Saga, he's grown up quite a bit. He's Gohan-sized, at least. Speaking of which, bring in Gohan. Bring in a normal Gohan, because kind of unfair to bring in Super Saiyans. Gohan is a bit taller, so there's that. Let's go ahead and lower the sword down. So, I mean, he's okay. Once again, wishing they had just given us a Super Saiyan head to go with it. I kind of want to see something here. Hold on. Oh, that's funny. Just slapped on Gohan's head on there. It's not really in on the ball joint. It's close. It's close. Also, pointy hair. So, just be careful. But that's funny. A different version of Future Gohan. By the way, I really want a Future Gohan. That actually looks really awesome. I'm not going to lie. Gohan's head looks great on Future Trunks' body. I actually really want a Future Gohan from the history of Trunks. And he's such a unique character in the fact that he looks a bit more like Goku than Gohan actually turns out looking. And his clothing is a bit different. He does have the slightly longer blue sleeves that like come down mid-bicep, stuff like that. Actually, down to the elbow, pretty much. So I kind of want to build one day. Like, you can definitely use a Goku head for that, like a Super Saiyan Goku head, and then just modify the hair a little bit. So you need like a combination of a Gohan and a Goku head to make that happen. Either way, I'm working on ways to kind of make customs in the future. It's something I want to do. So basically what I'm going to end up doing is putting away the sword handle here with all the other spare parts that I've got for all these guys. But yeah, I like the fact that we get a Vegeta, we got a Trunks, and of course Vegeta and Vegito, or I'm sorry, Trunks and Vegito were in the same place at the same time, especially in blue form. So we need a Super Saiyan Rage version of Trunks. That'd be fun. Not that there's a giant difference, but either way. So that's going to be it, guys, for this review. I like the figure. The sculpt is nice, but he's got some massive weak points. This hip, notwithstanding. And I did find out the neck does move a little bit. I wish, I don't know, I mean, like, once again, you never really see the character from behind. I might trim this neck up just a little bit more, just to see if I can get his head to move. Like, it's fully kind of encapsulated in there. I mean, it looks good, like, in this aspect, where he's like, yeah, that's a good look. But, like, why is he always looking down? I kind of wanted to be able to even look forward. But either way, it's the same kind of complaint I'm having with a lot of these figures. They just don't have the neck articulation. They need to engineer the disc hinge and the neck the way that a lot of other things, especially Hasbro, has done. So, either way. But that's it, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Make sure you do the like thingy. Hit that subscribe-ish button. Go ahead and check out the Patreon. Check out the Shoky shirts if you want to help support the channel a little bit. And I definitely appreciate anybody who does. And I need to do some stuff for my patrons sometime soon. I've kind of neglected them a bit already this year. But I'll catch you guys on the next review. Remember, as always, the future is not set in stone. Oh, wait a minute. Multiverse theory. Crap.